Okay, I just noticed that my shirt looks like the David and Goliath card. Okay, so we're going to go over the shorts till you can't because it's a really important energy. Okay, the energy is do it now before it's too late. That's what till you can't means. Okay, when it's too late, it's too late. Now, I just made a comment on somebody that was sad. Okay, it's okay to be sad, but you have to remember that you make your own soul contract. So you're doing it for a lesson. I mean, I know it's hard if a pet dies, you lose a loved one. There's so many different situations that are sad, okay? But we write our own soul contract. And as soon as you can grasp that, really grasp it, it makes life so much easier because you can talk to your higher self and you can figure out what is the lesson that I wrote in this soul contract. Okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and go over this shorts. I got it on my phone here because it's really important that you do stuff before it's too late. Okay? And what do I mean by too late? Well, the person dies, the situation changes where it's no longer available. The person finds somebody else. Now we start out with the Seven of Candles, and that's my deception card. But in the biblical tarot deck, it's my David versus Goliath card. So you can take it as the Seven of Swords, the deception card, because of the fact that it looks like David would definitely lose over fighting a giant. Or you can look at it like victory. Things are not what they seem. Okay? Now we had 1 Samuel. They want you to study 1 Samuel 17, especially verse 45. But I'm going to go over this shorts with you because it got so much attention. It's Kid Rock's new song, and I guess he played it during halftime for the Super Bowl, but not on NFL. That was Bad Bunny, right? So I've got Bad Me and Bad Bunny. Hi, you guys. Okay, so Kid Rock, if you are watching, this is probably very significant for you. I know you even mentioned David and Goliath in some kind of a comment about how you were going to go in there like David and Goliath. And I thought that was pretty wild because that was the first card out. They all were shuffled. So everybody check out 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 45, especially if you can't check out the whole one. And then we've got, like I said, till you can't. So David had the attitude of, I'm going to slay this giant till I can't. Okay? And that's how we should be in this mission. We should be like, we're going to do this till we can't. Okay? Now, if we continue it on, and I am going to go deeper, I'm going to go into the other room. Now, this one is St. Michael saying, keep eyes on your targeted intention. Archangel Michael, thank you for helping me focus on my inner vision and my inner intentions. I ask you for guidance in releasing any fear or doubt, granting me the confidence and the courage to take action toward what? Realizing my dream. Again, that's just what the song's talking about. That's just what I just said about David and Goliath. So keep your eyes on what you're manifesting, what you want. Okay? Last night in Astro was so cool because that's what we were doing. We were exactly doing that. You see, I have orange on. What did I tell you about when I wear orange? Yes, we did a whole bunch of arrests last night. We took people and we figured out what we were doing with them next. Where are you going next? And you could have been one of them. Okay? Then after that, we have divine feminine, sacred intuition, compassion, creativity, and sensuality. So, what we're doing here is we're talking about if you're a male, you are using your divine feminine powers, your sacred intuition, your compassion, your creativity, and just like Kid Rock making this song, that was one hell of a creative project, right? Okay, it's also telling you to go towards more sacred intuition and creativity. So keep moving forward. And then the comfort card comes out. The comfort card is telling you that you need to do it for you. What gives you happiness? Not your producers, not your boss, not your wife. You. What gives you comfort? Then we have the Six of Cups, which is very important because it's about the past. It's taking your past lessons, and the next card out is the Star. So it's taking your past lessons and you're going towards your destiny. The soul contract. What did I tell bad me in the comments? I said, you make your own soul contract. You need to move forward. It's okay to feel. You don't want to stuff your feelings. You want to feel them, but then move on and take the lesson and learn from it. Just like Till You Can't. How do you think you're going to feel if that girl gets somebody else and you don't get to give her the diamond? What happens if she dies? Right? What happens if that grandpa that has that 65 that wants to rebuild it that you never did yet, he dies and the car just goes to junk, right? So you have to look a little bit forward. You have to look a little bit forward and say, well, what if? You know, I always tell you guys to live what if, as if, what if. I used to tell my last mission partner all the time, would you act like this if you knew you only had one day to live? A lot of times I'd come home from my AA meeting on cloud 9 and he would bring me down to cloud 2 and I'd say, would you act like this if we only had one day to live? And he did die, and he did die unexpectedly. So, you know, you do what you can till you can't. The Star card is after the Six of Cups. And I just went over that. And then the Knight of Wands is really important because that's the king of creativity. The King of Wands is all about emotions and it's about your creativity. So you want to put a lot of action into this, but it's a departure action. So it means you're getting it done. You're departing from the old and bringing in the new. For instance, with the song, you don't just stop at that song. You keep going. There was also a message in there to find Jesus, okay? Well, then you have to walk your walk. If you're going to tell people to find Jesus and you're at the bar getting drunk or screwing the hose, as they call it, right? That's not very good of saying, oh, come to Jesus. So you've got to walk the walk. So if you put out a song like Come to Jesus, or like me doing biblical tarot and energy reading, you better see me doing the walk. You better seeing me feel sad, but then getting over it, right? If I'm going to tell you to do it, I better be doing it myself. So we've got absence, departure, but then we've got action and moving on. So that's all changing the old, going into the new. Interrupting the norm, okay? And it says interpreting, and I said interrupting. So you're interpreting the norm would be to get out there, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But instead, he put out a song that said, till you can't, you better give your life to Jesus. You better give her that ring. You better fix that grandpa's car, right? Okay, so action's got to be behind the words. And also, you're doing something that's not normal. It's not normal for somebody like, for instance, a lot of us in AA, it wasn't normal for us to be acting like goody two shoes when maybe a year or two ago we were out running the muck. But you have to step out of the old and go into the new. And overall, the King of Wands has to keep his emotions in check because of the fact that he can be very egotistic, or she. They can be very egotistic and think I'm all it. And we're not all it. There's always somebody that's higher up than us. There's always somebody that can do it better. But my point always is that I am me and I am unique. That's why when I was in AA, I rewrote my own way of teaching. I didn't go from page 1 to page 169, whatever it was, right? 163, I can't remember. Okay, but I didn't go from A to Z. I made my own way of teaching. I did my own unique style, and we called it Becky's Format, is what he named it, the guy that typed it up. So again, I taught it to him, he typed it up on paper, he gave it to me, and then I gave it to other people. Because if he went through all that work to write down how I taught, it probably was very important. Just like this song, if I'm taking this much time on one song, it's probably pretty important. How many of you are even going to look it up? How many of you are even going to study it? You know, it's very important. Okay, then we're going to go on to, which all of mine are, but I don't see everybody studying them. Up to you. Then we've got the Two of Hearts, which is the soul contract, which I thought was wild because it came out with the star card, right? Destiny, soul contract. And then the next card after that is a couple with blazing blue eyes. I'm drawn to their blazing blue eyes. Marriage, divine love. Okay? Now, again, if you're already married and you already have that blazing divine love, then let's get it going top notch. How would you treat her if she was to die tomorrow? If you don't have that person, find her. You wrote her in your soul contract. You guys did this ancient times ago. Okay? Or him. It's all been written. And then the last card was the Wheel of Fortune. So exactly what I just said. The Wheel of Fortune changes everything. And that's what's happening right now. They wanted me to talk about that Tower card from yesterday too. If you looked at that Tower card, it was misspelt. Chaos was misspelt. There were a couple other words that were misspelt on the card. And so if you ever see the Tower card again, where I write it out from Miss Mystic, but they wanted me to point this out because, again, that's me being unique. That's me just writing the way the Spirit's telling me to write. That's me not going according to the matrix. That's me just writing on them cards, right? And then I didn't go back and be a perfectionist and change the card because that would have took from the spirit of making the card. Do you see what I'm saying? I can see people saying, oh, I screwed up that card. Rip it up and then bring out a new card and writing it correctly. And that's really not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to just let it all play out. Just like sometimes I have a stain on my shirt, right? You don't see me go change my shirt. I see it. Oh, well, I got a stain on my shirt. It's get out of that matrix thinking and just be you. If someone can't just love you for you, and you can't just love yourself for you, see, and all these movies are telling you that your DNA is being activated. You're going to, if you don't already, have superpowers. And the more we can trust you, the more your higher self, your angels, and your guides can trust you with the little you have, the more you get. So, again, how is Kid Rock going to act since he just invited everybody to Christ? How is Miss Mystic going to act after telling you how to be yourself? Is she going to, you're going to find her down the street being hypocritical? Or are you going to see her at the store helping people? Are you going to see her everywhere she goes being the same as she is on her video? That's the important part. Now, I know this was kind of long, but I want to go in and I want to go into another deeper layer of this. Okay, so let's just walk in here. Yep, and keep an eye on that orange, right? Because the orange is what we did last night. Okay. This is the birdie room. Spider-Man watches over the birdie. Hi, Holy. Holy is down here sleeping. All right, let's go a little deeper. I'll go ahead and sit here. Well, I can't sit. Okay, underneath David and Goliath, we're going to take the next card out. Let's see what we got. The Nine of Cups. So that's your wishes and your desires card. And it's all about Esther. So you got David, Goliath, and Esther. Esther chapter 9, all of it. Verse 22. The Feast of Purim. So this is a celebration. If everybody can come to Christ, get their DNA activated, have their frequency at a high Christ consciousness, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Now we're going to go ahead and see what's under keep your eye on the targeted intention. Yep, just what I said. You created the situation and you have the power to change it. So everything that you've done is in your soul contract. You don't like it, change it. Okay. Then underneath the divine feminine, we have hidden treasures. And that was what I was going to show you too. This is a belt buckle that I'm going to give to my Hierophant because he'll be the star. And the horseshoe always is up because you don't want your luck to run out. So isn't that beautiful? There's a hidden treasure awaiting. So if you see someone wearing that, you'll know the Hierophant has arrived. Okay, then we've got wisdom under comfort. So you want comfort, but you want to keep it wise comfort. Real pure love versus stage pole love. Underneath the Six of Cups, Three of Wands. You're going to go for it. You're going to leave that past behind. The doggy's big now. Even if it's nighttime, you're still going to go surfing. You're going to do this. Underneath the believe in miracles. A miracle soon will happen. And it's got something to do with Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. I do know that Kid Rock is a Capricorn because he's got the same birthday as my evil sister. but we won't get into that. Earth signs, keep your head in check, is what I'm hearing. Believe in miracles, it will soon happen. And it's to do with your soul contract, marriage, and love. And look at that, 2 and 2. So you've got the Two of Swords. That decision has to be made. The past has to be gone. You can see the star in the back. There's a star card. Underneath the destiny card is the Pentacles. What do we got here? Anxiety if you focus too much on Pentacles. It has to be equal give and take. See how they're equal giving and taking? He's giving to the poor. So 6 of Pentacles. The only thing that's going to cause you anxiety is if you put too much into Pentacles and not enough. Like, for instance, if the song is just for money versus actual repentance and going forward. King of Wands is keep doing your creativity because you can do anything. Think and grow rich, not fuck people over to get rich. And then I've got your magic power is within. And, you know, that's what I do. And that's what you all are supposed to be doing, is magic power within. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there because we went over them pretty good. And keep your eye on that belt buckle. Who's going to be wearing it? I love you guys. I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.